Nutrien Ag Solutions. I'm Senior Atmospheric Scientist Andrew Pritchard with your weather story for Friday, December 6th, 2024. Apologies for not coming to you the last couple of days. I had to travel from Champaign over to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Was speaking with the South Dakota Soybean Association yesterday morning, Thursday. Great group there, one of my favorite to come and talk to. I was there in 21 and then again this year, and they're just very informative, really nice folks over there. And so I really appreciated the opportunity, but had to spend about 9 hours traveling on Wednesday and Thursday to make it over there and back. So just no time to put out this video. A little update here just to talk about what's going on over the weekend as we head into early next week. Lake effect snow continues across the Great Lakes into the Northeast. Significant accumulations in the usual spots there. Buffalo going to be getting hit hard again as we head through the weekend. Showers and storms from the Gulf Coast into the Ohio River Valley here. No severe weather, but some corridors here. They could pick up anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain as we head through the late part of the weekend. And then we've also got a weekend warm-up here across the central U.S. and some Pacific Northwest moisture to talk about as we head through the next few days. Now, looking at the hazards map here, a couple things to point out. We've got, again, dense fog advisories, some freezing fog advisories, and even some air stagnation warnings across portions of the Pacific Northwest, across portions of Oregon, the Snake River Valley there down into the Central Valley of California. Really dense fog and a travel advisory down there with some of the super dense fog over some of the high traffic highways across that region there. So heads up if you're in the Central Valley, very dense fog today. Leave a little extra time as you're headed out the door. We've also got winter weather advisories in effect across portions of the upper Midwest into the Northeast. And then we also have those lake effect snow warnings and winter storm warnings in some locations there across northeastern Ohio, northwest Pennsylvania, portions of upstate New York. And then we're also talking about freeze warnings in the south, parts of Louisiana, over into southern Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, and then all along the Gulf Coast there, kind of flirting with freezing temperatures here as this Arctic front makes its way all the way down to the Gulf Coast. We can actually visualize that with a satellite image here in just a moment. Briefly, we are talking about thunderstorm activity across portions of the southwest from southern Arizona, southern New Mexico into Texas today. That risk shifts into central and southern into North Texas. This is just general thunderstorms. We are not talking about a severe weather risk here. We're talking about some rain overspreading the area with some embedded rumbles of thunder is kind of the overall vibe. This is where we expect that activity on Sunday from East Texas, the coastal plains into the Mississippi Delta. That rain lifting on into the Ohio River Valley as well. Now, here's the front. Now, this is the big upper level low that swept through the Midwest and the Great Lakes the last 48 hours, brought, a sudden burst of, or another burst of Arctic air here and some really strong winds, 60 mile per hour wind gusts from Sioux Falls over to the Great Lakes. Into the Northeast, again, Wednesday and Thursday with some snow squalls there as well. Now, you can kind of follow this fine line that trails, off to the south and then back to the west from that area of low pressure. Now, that is the Arctic front that's making its way through central Florida now. It has cleared the Gulf Coast and is moving out over the Gulf of Mexico. So another delivery of some bitterly cold air. And then as you look off to the screen on the left side here, we've got this another next feed of Pacific moisture here. Another brief atmospheric river event going to kind of slide down the Pacific coast, bringing some rain here over the back half of the weekend. And then we'll watch for that moisture to begin to return on the backside of this polar front heading into the latter half of the weekend as well. Precipitation ongoing right now as we look at the radar. Lake effect snow, kind of the bigger picture. The Pacific Northwest moisture is yet to arrive. Same is true across the south as we talk about the thunderstorm risk heading into the weekend, the rain and thunderstorm risk. But lake effect snow ongoing on the backside of that Arctic front. Again, look at the very fine line. This is your front visualized. We've got a very narrow band of maybe some showers. Sometimes you can even just get, insects and little debris, dust and particles caught up along the leading edge of that front, or, more often in the case of some of our thunderstorm outflow boundaries. But as I animate this, you watch the front, it's sinking across the Gulf of Mexico. And then as we get into Saturday night, Sunday, watch the moisture begin to return here on the backside. We get another area of low pressure developing here in the west. That's going to help reverse that flow, bring some moisture northward. We'll be talking about this through midday Sunday. Just talking about a few tenths up to a half an inch of rain in some of the heavier corridors. That'll get heavier as we head into Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and then eventually Monday as that continues to spread off to the north and east. At the same time there, as we head through Saturday and early Sunday, look for that heavy precipitation to turn on across the Pacific Northwest. Coastal portions of Washington and Oregon, they're seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain as we head through the weekend. Total snowfall Again, lake effect snow continues. We'll also see another band of snow making its way through portions of Ontario, kind of right along the U.S.-Canada border through the UP of Michigan, northern Michigan picking up on some of that, and then upstate New York will get some of that snow, along with the rest of the Northeast as we get toward the later part of the weekend. And then with that Pacific Northwest moisture, also look for some snow in the higher elevations there across the Pacific Northwest from Washington into Idaho and the high plains of Montana and Wyoming. Now here's the jet stream, what we've got going on here on Friday morning. Again, big circulation across the Great Lakes, portions of the Hudson Bay, eastern Canada. Very strong flow coming in around the base of that. And then here's the next push of flow coming across the Pacific Ocean in toward the Pacific Northwest. And then here's the little disturbance in the southwest that's going to be eventually making its way here into the southern plains, bringing that rain and thunderstorm risk as we head into the weekend. Just kind of animating that. This is what we've got. We'll take this through the weekend. This is your Friday. This is Saturday. Here comes that little push of moisture across the Pacific Northwest. Here is the flow across the southern U.S. that will be transporting moisture northward and kind of helping support that area of rain and thunderstorms as we head through the weekend. You watch that little wave kind of get picked up here and pushed off through the Ohio Valley as it gets kind of kicked out by this trough that's diving in from the Canadian prairies into the western U.S. as we head into the early part of next week. And this is what we've got then. Big warm up as this low kind of kicks in. We get that southerly flow. This is going to be a bit of a pattern disruption as we head into the middle part of the month. Now here's the precipitable water. This is kind of looking at moisture content within the atmosphere. You see the polar front making its way across the Gulf Coast, taking all of the moisture with it. Also bringing in a shot of just very, very dry Arctic air kind of moving in across the Midwest. Continues to be bitterly cold there. Not a nice day. If you're not a cold weather fan across much of the Midwest and in the Corn Belt here. Not looking forward to my morning dog walk here after I finish recording this video. Now, as we head into the weekend, Friday night, Saturday, here comes that push of Pacific moisture across the Pacific Northwest. This little atmospheric river event. Again, not a long-lasting one, not one of the most intense, but a quick 2 to 4 inches of rain across coastal areas there. And then as we get into Saturday night and Sunday, here comes that feed of moisture from the Gulf Coast. Something we have not seen for a little bit here. Rain going to be lifting a little bit further north into the Ohio River Valley, where it's been dry over the last week plus. Now here's a look at what's going on from the European operational model, kind of taking a wide view here, looking at the precipitation type forecast through the weekend. Pretty quiet with a big area of high pressure. Again, polar high here across the central U.S. It is just very cold. It's very dry east of the Rockies, not supportive of a lot of precipitation. We've talked kind of in depth here about what's going to be going on, so let's watch it play out. Saturday and Sunday, Pacific moisture here. Heavy coastal rains, high elevation snows as we head through the weekend. And then as we get to Sunday, into Sunday night and Monday, watch for the shower and storm activity to begin to increase across the Gulf Coast. So this is your Sunday, a rainy Sunday across the Delta, some snow across the Canadian prairies as an area of low pressure travels along the U.S.-Canada border. We're talking about 4 to 6 inches there across portions of the prairies. And then as we get into Monday, again, that little wave across the southern U.S. is kicked out to the east as this area of low pressure kind of drops down into the upper Midwest. So this is the picture midday Monday. We'll have another cold front sweeping into the northern plains in the upper Midwest. Rain and snow lifting into the Northeast. Rain kind of continuing. Maybe some rumbles of thunder across the Gulf Coast here, North Florida, all the way back towards southern Louisiana on Monday evening. Looking at our instability here, kind of the fuel that would support the potential for severe weather. And there's, again, very little. This is a theme with the last couple of lows that have moved through the Gulf Coast. They're bringing rain, some rumbles of thunder, but really not, not the right type of, storm system to really bring a lot of Gulf moisture northward and support a robust severe weather threat, which is good news, of course. We want the rain. We want it without the bite of the severe weather, and that looks like what we'll have as we head through the weekend. This is your rainfall totals here through midday Monday. Again, lighter rain as you make your way off to the southwest, portions of southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, West Texas, into South Texas. The chance for showers and storms there, it's going to be pretty hit or miss, with a couple areas maybe picking up a few tenths of an inch of rain. And then as you head into the coastal plains, the Red River Valley, East Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, that's where we see those precipitation totals starting to get a little more meaningful. I'm talking about more than half an inch up to the 1 to 2 inch range as you get into the Delta and the Ohio River Valley, where we'll hear maybe a few rumbles of thunder, as well on Sunday night into Monday. As I mentioned, a quick 2 to 4 inches here of precipitation across coastal areas of Washington and Oregon. Some high elevation, heavy snowfall as well as we head through the weekend. And then a closer look at your snow totals here through the weekend across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes into the Northeast, heaviest where we have that influence from the lake effect snows. Last, I want to show you the warm up here across the central U.S. Again, very cold here across the Great Lakes, central and eastern Corn Belt into the Northeast today. We'll watch for that warm up here as we head into Saturday, 40s, 50s, and 60s overspreading the central U.S. And then much of the Corn Belt enjoying temperatures in the 40s and 50s on Sunday before that next shot of cold air starts to creep in as we head into the early part of the work week. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you again on Monday morning.